Welcome to So Mom and the 1,000 Days of May episode,
That's right.
where we have been doing this podcast a little bit, but mostly running around. We have a graduate.
We do. We have a graduate. That's so exciting. Your oldest is about to go
He's a
off to
senior.
college. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
But it's been a lot. You know what I had to do the other night?
What?
No, you actually don't know.
I know. That's why I
Okay.
said, what?
The other night we had to get photos for the senior slideshow.
Okay.
And so I said to him, sit down next to me and let's look at all of the photos of your whole life. And instead of saying, no, you do it, he did sit down next to me and we went through, his whole life on my phone.
Yeah.
And he loved looking at, he had forgotten so many things. That's not his phone. His phone is just what happened
Right.
at school or whatever.
Right.
He's using his phone on the weekend. But he was looking through all these photos of his childhood and he said, this reminds me, I wouldn't change one thing about my childhood. I know, which was a very unexpected, emotional feeling. I did not know where that came from because I'm just used to absorbing, what you should have done, or
Oh, and he has a response to everything to change.
like a criticism.
A criticism.
Yeah,
I mean, he is the king of changing the world, but not his childhood.
In that moment.
In that.
In that moment. I think if we had done it on another day, I would have had another answer, but it made for like a really good look back at everything and all of his Spider-Man costumes. It was really Jason in Spider-Man costumes through the years.
That's the way I think of him.
That was really fun.
That is.
But it's emotional.
I know. I've been through it.
Yeah. But you didn't have photos.
I had drawings.
There are no photos.
I drew you.
You had to just imagine.
I know.
I think photos, it's interesting. It's wonderful to see 18 years of photos in your phone, but it almost felt like too much.
Did it?
It was just, it was such a vivid memory lane. It doesn't allow for improvising or imagination or anything. It's just all there in a photo. So I think that feels, there's benefits because we were like, oh, I forgot, where is that t-shirt? But then there's also, it's so vivid, it's not a dream state. It's
right there.
Yeah.
We are excited today to have Dr. Solmaz Amirnazmi as a guest. She is a remarkable woman. We are thrilled. And I wanted to read a little of your biography because I think in this day and age, with all the skepticism, all the questioning, it's lovely to read about a woman who has taken a pivot in her life and is also sharing her wisdom that is all research-based, medically based, and makes sense, just makes such good sense. So Dr. Solmaz is a Boston-based Stanford and Harvard-trained physician and board-certified expert in lifestyle medicine with 14 years of clinical experience. After practicing internal medicine at MIT Medical and Mass General Brigham, she launched Enso Lifestyle Health, where she helps clients sustainably lose weight, optimize their health, and regain balance in their lives. Her approach is evidence-based and rooted in lifestyle medicine, combining cutting-edge science with practical real-life strategies. As a weight loss and wellness coach with advanced training in culinary medicine and nutrition research, Dr. Solmaz empowers her clients to prevent and reverse chronic illness, boost energy, lower inflammation, and achieve lasting wellness through personalized coaching and nutrition plans. In 2025, she launched the Enso Kitchen System, a complete evidence-based approach to lowering inflammation, boosting energy, and losing weight naturally. With simple, delicious recipes, that we have tried. Targeted strategies and a comprehensive framework, the Enso Kitchen System helps clients turn healthy eating into an easy and sustainable lifestyle. Through through her work, Dr. Solmaz continues to fulfill her mission, helping individuals build lasting health and happiness, one lifestyle change at a time. So, welcome. Welcome to So Mom. We have an audience that is just right up your alley. We are primarily female based, and so many women going through different changes, and always looking for what's true. What are influencers doing in my life? How can I navigate my life as a busy person, particularly a woman, and also take care of myself while I'm taking care of others? So,
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. It's an honor.
Well, we were very happy to have you, and as you know, we've been trying out your recipes. We've done a couple over the past year,
yeah, we have.
knowing that they're hungry teenagers in my home who are ready to snack.
I absolutely love it. I hope that you've been enjoying them. I love seeing the videos of you two making some of the snacks, and I hope that you're enjoying them and finding them to be like not just yummy, but easy and also just useful for a busy week. So
They are useful. It's good to have something that truly, for me, can just be assembled and presented.
My problem is that I make them, they're just the two of us, and it is so delicious. And I keep saying, yes, but it's good for me. And I'm just eating way too much. And I think, well, but it's so healthy. I'll just have, yeah, another slice. So we have lots in the freezer now. I'm learning to try and modulate my gluttony.
that's so funny. And the things like oh, sorry, go ahead. Yes.
Oh, no, it was something that I was, as mom and I were talking about sort of snacks through the 50s and the 70s and the 80s and all sort of the different eras of of trying to figure out healthy treats for a family. I was curious about what do you feel is like even today as we're in this era, would you say is kind of one of the biggest misconceptions about um healthy eating?
Misconceptions about healthy eating. So, I think that we really need to have a balanced approach. So, I think, these like extremes, that's not healthy. So, it's yes, we need to embrace, less ultra like avoid ultra processed foods, avoid processed foods, but this is real life. So, I think what I try to bring to the table when I'm working with people is really, how to make healthy eating accessible, how to make it available, how to make it simple, how to show like the skills. It doesn't have to be complicated. I think like a lot of these people online are showing all these like exotic ingredients to be healthy, or, you have to spend hours in the kitchen, and that's not really true. And I think that, you with a good strategy and with, simple ingredients, you can really throw together delicious meals. I mean, my goal is to help empower my patients, my clients with the tools and the strategies to make healthier choices. You don't have to be perfect because it's not about being perfect. So I think there's some, sometimes there's this misconception you have to be like all or nothing. And that's not, that is, first of all, it's not sustainable. It's not enjoyable. Those two things have to go together. So it's really important um, that people understand that, it can be a really lovely, a really beautiful process, and it doesn't have to be complicated. I think that's a really big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Solmaz, you said something that I find interesting, and I can see a real crossover with what I did as an educator and you with medicine, which is the whole era of perfectionism. And I know that I had students and I worried about it because they were so, I mean, they would build and rebuild the Eiffel Tower. Every project had to be completed so that it was perfect. And I thought, where is this coming from? But then I saw so many wonderful, loving, caring mothers who had the same thing, that they felt that they had to be perfect in all aspects of their lives as working women, as mothers, as whatever they were doing. And I felt them sort of exhausted by it.
Absolutely. Yes. I mean, I think that I mean, just as somebody like having gone through medical training and everything needs to, it's like there's this pressure as a woman. There's pressure, when you're training to be perfect. And that's why a lot of people burn out. That's why a lot of people just can't. People leave the profession. People can't. I think it's really giving yourself grace, like through the entire process, as a physician, as a mom, and most of the people that I work with, they are busy professional women, and one of the most difficult things is practicing self care and giving themselves permission to bump themselves up on their priority list, to give themselves permission to take good care of themselves, because um they really are. I mean, myself too, it's like we are spread so thin, so many responsibilities, juggling so many things, managing the house, managing businesses, managing the affairs of the home, and then aging parents, and so forth. There's just so many obligations. It's like, we really need to give ourselves permission to take care of ourselves. And so, lifestyle health, it's really about, and so is the Zen Buddhist concept of enlightenment. So it's really meant to be a meditative process. When the artist draws their enso, you can see it behind. It's like you're drawing, and the closed circle is absolute enlightenment. You you know you're supposed to sort of self-reflect while you're doing this. Um the open circle is like you're progressing towards enlightenment, towards whole health. And I see this in the process of your wellness journey. And it's not about being perfect. It's the flaws are fine. It's about just making progress. It's about taking the time to sort of, like, I do this every day myself. Like, I take time at the end of the day to sort of self-reflect and say to myself, like, what, like, be kind to myself, to like think about my day, to sort of meditate over it. Not for 5 hours, I don't have time, but like, 5-10 minutes. I teach my clients to do the same thing. We need to take that moment for ourselves, just to have, I mean, everybody meditates in different ways, but just to have that time to sort of, give ourselves some grace. I think it's really important.
Thinking about our bodies is fascinating because Adele and I and her family went to hear a comedian, and he was talking about something and said, "Okay, boomers, sit out the election, okay? You don't need to vote anymore. Nobody wants to hear you." And I thought, oh, I get it, kind of. But I thought about how my workouts have changed. And I've always, I guess since I hit about 30, maybe a little younger, but working out has always been important. And then you think about how your goals change. And I was working out with a trainer this week, and she had me doing something that was, I thought, very hard. I had to, lift my heels on a board and go down and do a squat and
Oh,
hold
wow.
weights while I was doing it. And I said, what is this doing? She said, it is enabling you to get out of a chair. And I thought, oh, and that's actually the number one exercise as you get older, you have to be able to do to keep yourself independent. And it doesn't occur to you until you're at an age where when you lose that, you lose your autonomy. And I think that sometimes our goals are short term, but I think also having a helmet health and wellness goal that includes, what you do with your body is critical, because the goal you have is to stay up on your feet for as long as possible and in your home.
Absolutely. Like, I think, that's another thing that I talk about with individuals. It's like our entire biology changes during pregnancy, then during perimenopause, then during postmenopause. And I think, being empowered with the knowledge and with the education on these time points, your metabolism changes, the way um your hormones change. Just this doesn't happen to men. This happens to women. And we go through these very, very important times in our life. And there is some education around pregnancy. Like before I got pregnant, I went to some classes and, oh, this is what to expect. Oh, this is what's normal. Oh, this is what's abnormal. Like this. But there is nothing really like that for perimenopause, for postmenopause. Now there's sort of like this new awakening, this new enlightenment. People are talking more about it on social media, but still, like in the structure of the healthcare system, there is not like a great place to go to get real evidence based, cut through the noise information to help women um, be ready for these changes. And a lot of times, what I would see people coming in, they're like, they think that they're dying. They think like, or they think something horrible is happening, or, you know, I mean, I'm sort of going all over right now because there's so much to say on this topic. Um, you know, I think it's really important to understand um, that our bodies really change. Like at perimenopause, postmenopause, we need more calcium requirements. We need to talk about vitamin D. We need to talk about bone health. We need to talk about, metabolism slowing down. We need to talk about how we metabolize things differently. You can't drink alcohol the way that you used to. You can't drink coffee. Caffeine metabolizes differently. What you could do at this age is different from what you could do at that age. And I love the exercises that you're doing. That is so important. Yes, because the focus, has to be different. I have people who are like, I used to run a marathon and now I can't. And that's okay. You have to adapt. Your body's changing. And with that, you need to adapt and you can still move. It just has to be different. You might not be running marathons. You might be taking a walk around the pond and that's fine. Or, you might be doing gardening and that's fine. It's changing with, as your body's changing. And with respect to yes, like in Japan, so my husband's from Japan and we have like a kotatsu, which is basically like a heated table on the ground where we sit around that. And like the culture in Japan is to sit around there so that first of all, you stay warm. It's a nice, efficient way to stay warm. You're with the family. So you are, like my kids and me and my husband, we all sort of just sit in there. We eat like tangerines and just hang out in the kotatsu. And now it's become like a thing. Like the kids' friends come over and everybody's like getting in the kotatsu. They just sit there. They might like, just chit chat. It's really a nice place to sort of hang out and build like, just sort of connect with your friends, with your family. But my mom lives with us and she sits in there to get up. Like it's great because it's great exercise to sit down and get up. And in Japan, that's what they do. They keep sitting down on the floor and getting up because that practice is so important. Like into later, into your 70s, 80s, 90s, like it's that muscle strength to keep that muscle mass, to keep that bone strength. We have exponential bone loss and muscle loss postmenopausally. So it's like that's a great practice. To activate those muscles to keep you autonomous, like you were saying. So so much to say on this topic, but I think as our bodies change, we have to be putting top of mind like cardiovascular health, neurocognitive health. Um, you know, just really like staying physically fit, staying active, all of these things are important. And that's my goal. Like, that's why, like, I launched my practice because I saw a gap really in healthcare. I was seeing so many amazing, um, you know, so many amazing women coming to me. And this is during my time practicing just traditional clinical medicine. I work with men and women, but really focusing on women's health. And there wasn't enough time. Like there just wasn't enough time to address everything. We want to address everything, but in 15 minutes, you can't address everything.
Oh, no, it's exciting for us to hear. I mean, we talk about this a lot. And I think one of the problems you just touched on it is that as you get older and you maybe have more health issues and you get sort of shunted from specialist to specialist and nobody's talking, and it isolates, this is a problem with this part of your body, but it actually, what I think I've discovered is that it's all integrated. You can't solve your hip without thinking of everything else, that it's not your hip that's the problem. And I think that with time constraints and everything, it's just easier to say, oh, go to this specialist or that specialist. And I think it's hard, it's hard for physicians now because they're so, with all the pressures that they have, there isn't time.
Mom and I both are we are both lifelong migraine sufferers. And we both follow a neurologist who likes to talk about, what is how bad is red wine? 8 out of 10. How bad is you know lost sleep, 7 out of 10, but his 10 out of 10, which is kind of interesting. Do you know what his 10 do you remember what his 10 out of 10 was? 10 out of 10 trigger for a migraine?
What?
Skipping meals.
Oh,
Which I
yeah.
wish I had known when I was younger, how because I never even to loop back to the recipes and the idea of reaching for something healthy to eat when a migraine is coming on, if you realize, "Oh, this is something that is such a difference for me and feels so important." I would have never known how important this was and feels so effective when I feel that migraine coming on, to say this is not a time for a skipped meal. In fact, this is the time to double down on putting something really good in my system, which is why also with it, we love the recipes that you made, because really that would be the thing I would
Yeah.
grab. I'm
Yeah.
not going to make a big meal, but I don't want to skip an opportunity to put something healthy. You had a great post. I was looking at on your Instagram, and we'll post all of this to the So Mom page, but it was about the sort of like the end of the school year, and there's so much going on, and you had a wonderful solution that I really loved, that I just saw this morning, so I wanted to shout it out.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, it is a
Y-
crazy time of year. May and June, it's like and it's just so much. And every time I open my email, there's like something else to put on the to-do list, I feel like. It's like it's great stuff, but it's just, it's teacher
True.
appreciation week, it's ballet recital, it's performance, it's tryouts, and it gets very overwhelming, especially when you're working in the house, outside of the house. There's so much. My mom just had cataract surgery. I was taking her. There's just so many things to do, right? So for me, it's like getting outside and getting in touch with nature is so important. And there's this whole a lot of evidence behind just the concept of awe in our lives, just feeling awe. And I feel that when I'm in nature. It's like the trees or the water or the creatures or whatever, because I mean, it does something to our neurotransmitters. It boosts our mood, it boosts our calm, it boosts our focus, it boosts our energy. It does all these things. And I just find like it is yes, it's great for maintaining your weight to get out there and walk, but that's not how I see it anymore. Maybe when I was on my initial weight loss journey, I was like, okay, I'm going to get outside and take a walk. But like, I really feel like it's my way of just feeling sane and feeling relaxed and just feeling like there's something bigger out there and it has our back. And it's just a more than medicine. I can say it's more than medicine. And a lot of my clients will say, like they're not really big on walking out, so they want to get on their Peloton. And I'm like, you can still do that, but it's a game changer to just get outside and be one out there with nature. It's fine to put headphones in, fine to, but it's also really nice to have nothing on too and just listen and just a very sensory meditative walk. Doesn't have to be so fast either. It can just be, and it does bring just brings a lot of peace. And I think peace is so important. So I'm glad you like that post.
I did. And I love that you're saying, I just recently retired my headphones. I love to walk. I love to be reminded to get out there and walk.
Now, switching gears a little bit with all the news about health and what's happening. What are the myths? What are you most concerned about with health trends, and what are you most excited about?
So, concerned, I would say I'm concerned. I have been concerned because there's so many people out there who have a platform. Some of them are influencers, some of them are actually authoritative figure authoritative figures who are saying things that are not evidence-based. Um, I am really concerned for the general public who doesn't know where to get their information from, or doesn't, or maybe they like somebody, so, or they have a lot of followers, so they're just listening to whatever this person's saying. And I would see that happen so often when I was practicing, seeing like 30 patients a day, at Mass Gen Brigham or MIT, like all these patients would come in. I would see like trends and talk to my colleagues too about patients coming in after like something on television happened, and oh, this is the treatment, the new treatment for this. And it's like, no, that is not, like, for example, like a trend of like taking a turmeric ginger shot every morning. This is going to lower your inflammation. Well, yes, we do want to lower inflammation because inflammation is the common denominator of all the chronic diseases that are plaguing our nation and the world, really. If you look at heart disease, if you look at neurodegenerative disease, you look at autoimmune disease, you look at obesity, yes, common denominator is inflammation. We do want to lower inflammation, but we don't want to do it with a turmeric ginger shot in the morning on an empty stomach, because now we're creating a new problem. We're creating gastroesophageal reflux disease. We're creating peptic ulcer disease. That's a very like that's not even this is, that's serious, but there's much more serious things that are being said. I'm just giving you an example of something that I remember, everybody coming in and, well, I'm doing this now, and what do you think? And I'm like, please don't do that. You can get turmeric in your diet and ginger in your diet without taking, a raw big shot of that every morning. That's not going to do anything great for your digestive system. So that's concerning to me. Much more serious sort of information than that's being disseminated with by people with large platforms. Um, so that makes me worried. The things that I'm excited about are, really, you're talking about like like currently, like what am I excited about in health and wellness at this time?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it's not just at this time, but I am very excited about the potential of lifestyle to prevent and reverse chronic illness. I think it's just the most incredible phenomenon. I've witnessed it all through practicing, and then now with my own lifestyle medicine coaching practice. It's like I think it's the most incredible thing on earth to see people be able to make better choices and see not just their numbers reverse, not just them come out of the pre-diabetes zone or out of the diabetes zone, or lower their blood pressure or come off of a cholesterol medication, um, but also to like lose weight that they've been holding on to. Also to just feel more energized, to feel like, I just think that there's so much power in the food that we eat. There's so much power in all of these aspects. And just also like what kind of like things are we using on day to day? Like what kind of deodorant are we using? What kind of cookware are we using? There's so much power in all of this synergistically to help us be healthier as a whole. So I think that that's just really, that's always been exciting to me, but I feel like there's more coming. There's just more coming. There are a lot of things that I'm also, obviously technology, ultra processed food. There's a lot of things that I'm concerned about. But I think that we need to move. We need to move towards more of like a um, preventative approach, which our system unfortunately is not. But I think there are a lot of people, fresh people who are starting to do more of this, and it's coming. Hopefully, there is a wave of it coming. So I'm excited about that.
that's great.
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
Yes.
I feel
Yeah.
like we are on a learning curve that
Yeah,
has been very helpful.
I do too. And we're really trying to choose the people we listen to. I mean,
Yeah.
there are so many quack influencers who talk about migraines, and it's always a simple answer. Or they talk about cholesterol and how cholesterol, and nobody should ever take statins. And, whatever it is that their number one beef, and they have a little bit of usually pseudoscience, and then people feel like, oh, I've got to get off these medications, or I've got to, do something else. And I think the more we see people like you and people who have fabulous platforms that have been proven, that are based in science. And I don't know why we're always so afraid to say that. I mean, that's where I'd like to get my
Absolutely.
information, from somebody who studied.
Go science.
What?
Go science.
Go
Yay.
science. Yeah.
It seems like there's a disconnect in the sense that like people don't realize how much training goes into becoming. I mean, they know, oh, you went to med school and stuff, but it's like we studied so long. We really like took an oath to do no harm. You know, everything that I want to put out there for the general public, I take it very personally, and I'm very responsible for that information that I'm disseminating. It is I don't take any of this lightly, is what I'm saying. And I feel like that is not necessarily true for most people because they are just like, oh, do this. And then if somebody comes back and says, well, this is causing this, it's like, well, I didn't know. No, like, I feel like everything, like, I get approached by so many different companies. Oh, supplement this, that. Like, I don't want to have anything to do. I'm not saying that they're all bad, but I have to vet this thing very, very seriously. Or when I'm giving you
Yeah.
information, it has to be researched. It has to be it's just again, it's the Hippocratic oath. It's like it is part of who I am. I am not going to give you information that I don't do myself or that I don't do my kids don't do or that I don't tell my patients. And you know, it's very important to where you're getting your information from. I mean, like there's, Mass General Brigham online or Cleveland Clinic online. Like these are, reputable, amazing organizations, like not just listening to whoever. So all I'm saying is that it's something that we take very, I mean, I take very, very, it's very, very crucial that I get it right or, that I'm giving you the real information.
Well, this has been an absolutely delightful hour. We also know that you are leaving us to go get your children at school. So
Right.
it's nice to have that connection and to have a conversation as moms and multi-generational women, and lovely to have your insights. And we will obviously post all of your links with our podcast,
Yes.
because everybody should be listening to you and
Yes.
following you. Everybody should
We
be,
as we do.
as we do.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's like such an honor to be here. I really enjoy our conversation and I'm thank you.
Well, you're a
Yes.
fabulous guest, and thank you for joining us.
Yes. And if you like what you hear, please don't forget to like and subscribe and listen to So Mom wherever you get your podcasts.